What's up, guys? This is TheRealQwade. I've actually got a battle video for you this time. ChocolateBowtie wanted to test out a new team he was making on Pokemon Showdown, so I obliged him for a battle with my primary battling team just to see what he had going. So ended up working out pretty well for me. I had a nice showing with my Vaporeon, so I wanted to put this out there as a way to illustrate how to use Vaporeon, or really any wish reliant tank in general, because they don't play the same way as most tanks do that have like Blissey with soft boiled or anything with Roost. You have to do a lot more foresight if you're relying on wish. So just to catch up to this point, as far as the commentary, Wobbuffet went to sleep. I like to lead with him just because he's a good way to knock out or cripple one of my opponent's Pokemon. He went up with Breloom. I was fearing a Stone Edge. Luckily he didn't have, so Volcarona threatened him. Now we have Keldeo, and here comes the Vaporeon, so he's going to take no damage from the Hydro Pump. I'm not terribly worried about Keldeo. He does okay damage. I mean, he takes off half of Vaporeon's health, which is a pretty decent chunk, but it's not enough with Wish, Protect, and Leftovers. He's never going to be able to knock Vaporeon out outside of a critical hit, so I basically can stall him out here with Life Orb damage. He does have a Life Orb, so I'm only about 6 turns away from just killing him outright without needing to attack. So I think I expected him to switch, expecting him to predict a protect on my end, so which would have given a free switch, but he didn't, so I'll just protect again, get an extra turn of leftovers. You see that occasionally throughout the battle, is that I go for an extra protect just to get that 6% health back. So he brings in Breloom, I go for the wish. Vaporeon doesn't take too much damage from Breloom. He's pretty tanky, so I knew I would survive and then threaten him with an Ice Beam, so it hit him pretty hard. And now, because of that wish, Breloom's not going to be able to finish me off, so I expect that he does switch again. I go for the Ice Beam just in case, though, because Breloom is always a threatening Pokemon. Plus, once Breloom is out, he won't be able to put any more of my Pokemon to sleep, so Wobbuffet can always wake up and do his thing. So, brings out Metagross. I wasn't sure what kind he had, so I just go for the wish. Pretty much whenever, even if your tank is at full health, whenever you're not sure what your opponent has, I always go for a wish, just because, if nothing else, it allows me to come back to full health the very next turn. So he ends up going for agility, so I know he's an agility Metagross, which means he's not going to be able to finish me off. Metagross has a lot of power, but because he's agility based, he can't boost it anymore, and he's not going to be able to even two-shot Vaporeon just because Vaporeon is so naturally defensive. So he ends up switching from Meteor Mash to Zen Headbutt because Vaporeon does resist Meteor Mash. And if you would have noticed, I took an extra turn to protect and get Leftovers recovery, which ended up saving my life, probably in this case. I was down to 6% because of that extra turn of protect. So he predicts to protect nicely, goes for an agility. I really don't care at this point. Metagross at 3 times speed, Metagross is already outspeeding everybody I have, so another agility is not going to make a difference. I'm not worried about allowing him to gain any extra speed on that. So it's just a matter of time before he falls to skull damage. He does manage to get burned, so I know he's really crippled at this point. Even though he's at 4 times speed, he's at half attack. Takes neutral damage from Scald anyway, so he was only about a Scald or 2 away. And I think I go for the finish here. I do go for the finish. So that's 1 for Vaporeon. Doing pretty good so far. He's already weakened his Breloom. Again, he goes for Lucario. It ended up being a special Lucario. I wasn't sure what it was at this point, but I didn't want him to set up with Nasty Plot or Swords Dance, so I go straight for a Scald, because I know it hits him for neutral damage, chance to burn, always useful on Lucario. I knew he wasn't going to be able to one-shot me anyway. So it ended up working out a lot better because Vaporeon is a lot bulkier especially. So I ended up burning him here, which would finish him off anyway. Vaporeon collects the wish. Still very healthy with 2 down. Sends out the Keldeo. We've already seen that Keldeo is not going to be able to break Vaporeon. So I'm planning to stall him out here with Wish Protect, and just have him fault the life orb damage. So one thing to keep in mind, if you're using a wall that relies on Wish for its recovery, is you pretty much have to take 2 turns into account. You have to basically play the next turn ahead, which you don't have to do as much with conventional walls that have roosts and stuff. At this point, my laptop went to screensaver, so you just missed a protect. It's not a big deal. Like I said, I was just stalling out the life orb damage on Keldeo, so Vaporeon gets a free Wish off. It's going to get some nice heal. So this Weavile, I really thought about coming right at him, just because I was fearing a Sword Stance, and he does use the Sword Stance, which I was like, crap, I knew I should have come right at him. But Vaporeon is back at full health. He goes for another Sword Stance, which I don't know if I like that move, because Vaporeon gets a free turn. Ends up burning Weavile, which is good luck for me, but I still would have survived the Night Slash if he wasn't burned, but I don't know if I would have been able to actually defeat him with Vaporeon here, because he took some extra burn damage from that. So he brings in Breloom. We know that the Thunder Punch won't finish him, won't finish Vaporeon, so I'm just going to knock whatever he comes at me with. I come at him with an Ice Beam. He goes for the sub because he really doesn't have another choice, so he's going to do what damage he can with Thunder Punch. He wouldn't have knocked me out if, with that extra leftovers turn, I would have been at 3%, so it's not a big deal. But Breloom falls. Vaporeon has now knocked out 5 of his Pokemon. Here comes Chandelure. He didn't realize that his Chandelure had Energy Ball, so he probably could have come at me earlier with that. Would have been a good idea. So I didn't know what he had. I go for the Protect. I probably could have switched out, but at this point I'm like, well, it's 6-1. I can afford to lose Vaporeon and get a free switch. I sent out Dusclops because, again, I don't know what his set is really, and I see he comes at me with Energy Ball, so I know for a fact that he's choiced now, because otherwise he would have come at me with Shadow Ball or something. So he's going to keep using Energy Ball. With the Trick Room up, Breloom's going to go first. He's going to get a shot with the Stone Edge. So I basically have 2 turns to try to finish him off, maybe even more with the Poison Heal damage. So even if I would have missed one, I would have been in pretty good shape. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to... it was a really nice performance by Vaporeon, and a lot of times the walls that rely on Wish are not really easy to play with if you haven't used them very often. Prior to using Vaporeon, I used Umbreon through most of the 4th generation, so I got really used to how to make my Wish work out well, and basically using Wish a lot more frequently than you think you need to, just in order to stay ahead of the damage that accumulates. So that's about it for that one. Hopefully I'll have some more battle videos coming up shortly. I know you guys have been enjoying my analysis videos, but I want to get some more battle. I haven't had a lot of battle stuff out there, so this was, I thought, a good chance to get something new out there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.